At this time, I'd like to share with you one of the founding brothers who was very instrumental in my life. His name was Charles Deal. He was my science and biology teacher. He was a very strict disciplinarian, and he didn't take any mess. Also, Mr. Deal was my track and cross-country coach. One thing I can say about Mr. Deal was that he always looked out for the brothers, because back then at Eastside High School, for example, on the baseball team, he was only allowed one black, maybe two. And but with his track and cross-country team, he encouraged the brothers to come and be a part of it. And he said, "I will make you a runner." He told me, he said, "Lathan, now look, I had you," that's what he always said, "Lathan, let me tell you something. I had your older brother Dennis. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make you a successful runner." This was from the years from 1961 to 1964. And for an example, I just did by calisthenics. He had you run the hills at Eastside Park, run the steps at Eastside Park, and now we had to run the course. It was a 3-mile course in Eastside Park. Now I ran this course, and as I came to the finish line, I thought I was finished. So Mr. Deal says, "Oh, Lathan, we're not finished. You're going to run this course again, because I'm going to build that endurance up in you." I said, "Well, yes, you're going to run it again." I ran the course again, and he had a bullhorn in he was driving his car with a bullhorn and would say, "Lathan, pick up them steps. Lathan, pick up those steps." And I'm saying to myself, this man can't be for real. But you know something? That was the best lesson I could have of endurance, because he instilled the strength. He instilled of me making. I was a very good cross-country runner and a track runner because of his work ethics. Also, there's so many things I like to share with you about Charles Deal. He was the director of Circle Pool. Circle Pool was a massive, huge, big pool off of Route 20. And like I said, he was the director. It was an Olympic-sized pool. Now, I was part of the day camp, and we would go to the pool 2-3 times a week. And what fascinated me was they had 3 diving boards. They had 2 lower diving boards, and then they had this real high diving board. And I would watch these guys go off the diving board. In my heart, I knew I could swim. I knew I could do it. But I needed a security blanket. And I said, "Now, you know something, Mr. Deal? I want to jump with that high diving board. I know I can swim, but all I want to know from you, if there is an issue of me coming up, do I have your back?" He said, "Well, Lathan, you don't know unless you try." I said, "Well, Mr. Deal, I'm going to do it." I got on that high diving board. I said, "Mr. Deal, you checking me out? Lathan, do what you got to do." I dove off that high diving board into the water. I came up and I started swimming. I said, "I can do this. I can do this." So he said, "I knew you could do it all the time too." But it was just the encouragement. I just thought, like I said, he's like a security blanket that he was there for me. But if some of the people could have seen what that pool looked like back then, it was unbelievable. But what happened, everybody said, "Well, what happened?" Well, Route 80 came through, and then they had to knock it down, and that's why Circle Pool was discontinued. But during the 50s and the 60s, it was one fabulous pool. And like I said, Mr. Deal was the director of that pool.